especially on support heroes, so you don't have to hard commit with a core. And Clockwork does exactly that, so fitting the meta and how the game's being played at the moment very, very well. Not terrible in lane either. If you can isolate someone with that battery assault, then you can often get off a lot of damage. And there's a few counters as well, such as Earthshaker, just a couple of heroes you just don't really want to play into Clockwork, which is really nice also.
Yeah, it narrows the draft ever so slightly, and there's also the position 5 flex a little bit for some of these teams, so I totally understand why we're seeing it, and both teams kind of keeping their options wide open so far. There's still stuff like the Primal Beast in the pool, there's still the Morphling in the pool, so kind of up to them now to decide if that's anything that they're going to be looking at. Otherwise, I think some of those heroes may be getting banned out in the second phase.
Yep, I think so. At the moment, through the games we've had obviously Enigma and Marcy 100% contest. Then it's Primal Beast, Batrider, and Shadow Fiend all sitting around 80. And then we have 4 heroes chilling around 70%, which is Morphling, Undying, Pangolier, and Visage.
Yeah, Batrider continues to be a little weird. I think he's still on that no picks, all bans hype train that he was kind of on in the last chance qualifiers as well. Yeah, that was a weird way to start the LCQs. I think he did end up getting a couple of games eventually, but all right. So Liquid are going to be going for the Morphling here for themselves, and Soniqs picking up the Lesh. This is something that they played in regionals. It's one of the openings that they've done so far. It seems like for them it's really about either opening with the Lesh or the Lina for Quinn, and this is something that we've seen a lot of teams doing in the draft, is picking this somewhat flexible mid laner sort of in the first phase, and then keeping it open somewhat as they go later into the draft. So I think for the most part, it's just going to be Quinn playing it here.
Yeah, seems most likely. Is this somewhat of an answer to the Morphling or not really?
I don't really think so. It is, at least from the perspective of you're not giving him another Ags target, but yeah, not necessarily in terms of actually getting in and killing him. You do a lot of sustained damage, so if your team's got the lockdown, you can just kind of stay right on top of the Morphling, but given that Liquid have picked it into the Lesh, I don't think they're too worried about it necessarily as a counter either. And the Lesh does put some interesting... The one thing I've noticed, at least from the games that we've seen so far, it does put on a little bit of interesting drafting pressure, because during the last chance qualifiers, we did see quite a few teams going for like double melee supports, and then they would still have relatively low range carry like a Luna or something, and maybe even a melee offlane. And Leshrac just completely punishes that. If you've got 4 heroes clumped up in the middle of a fight that the Lesh can run into, that's really, really difficult. So I do think these early Leshrac picks that we're seeing are not exactly in the same way as like when you pick up a Nyx or something, or an Enigma, but it is kind of putting some draft pressure on the opposing team.
Seconds remaining.
Of horse, you want to be able to gallop through fields, and the Clockwork just kind of stops you from doing that. It pushes you around. You're not free to gallop, which is sad for a Leshrac. So any kind of control is always pretty strong against the Lesh.
Yeah, even if you kill him, or even if you have to, like, if the Clockwork manages to just cut you off from the fight with cogs, even if you're not in the cogs, Lesh doesn't want to sit there and like auto attack his way through to get into the middle of the fight. So yeah, we'll see how that goes for Soniqs. They do have the snap already, so they've already got one way to. Yeah, they've already got the cookie. But
the notes, the leaks, what do they say? Read them.
There's a whole bunch of scribbles.
Oh,
that's all I've got.
Yeah,
maybe a picture of Jack's face.
Scribbles all over the place. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I would be. Rage. Can we just get somebody with like a printout of one of the enemy players just with crosses drawn over their eyes, and that's the note.
Yeah, that's their notes.
Yeah.
Die. No.
Yeah. The Broodmother is something I'd like to talk about a bit, because it seems like this is probably something that has been emerging in scrims. We saw it a little bit in the last chance qualifiers as well. Wildcard were playing it, Extreme were playing it. It was even creeping up in the draft priority a little bit. I wasn't sure if we were really going to see it here. I went and had a look, and Soniqs, like, I think Lelis has one Broodmother win in competitive ever, 1 win and 2 losses, and he's got like all of 20 games on it, at least on his main account. He's probably got some Smurfs and stuff, but Liquid may be more worried about it just as like we don't think we're going to have the answers to it, and we don't want Soniqs to happen to have this up their sleeve, even if we don't think they've got it.
Yeah, and let's be clear, both of these teams got brooded in their opening matchups. Both of these teams lost to a brood, so both of them... I mean, how rude is that, right? Your first game of your first series of the TI groups, you're like, oh, I can't wait to play TI with my buds. Going to be a great time. Going to win millions of dollars. It's going to be so fun. This is what we look forward to all year. Bam!
And Broodmother. Yeah. So that's enough to give you arachnophobia for sure. And
Disgusting
neither of these
behavior.
two teams, like, I didn't really think that either of them were going to be the ones picking it. Both of them play pretty straight up Dota, I would say, in a lot of ways. Maybe we could see something like a Beastmaster or whatnot coming out from Soniqs here. That's been a relatively popular way to kind of deal with the Morphling, is just get him down at the beginning and then keep him down by playing fast. And the Beastmaster is certainly good at that. But what else? Probably just go for their pause 5 here, maybe. Okay.
Tiny.
Tiny going to be the grab. Okay, so that's probably their 4, snap 5.
Yep, that does seem to be the case. I do want to quickly talk about Soniqs because I did watch their documentary. I've done a lot of documentary watching.
5 seconds remaining.
About their mentality was that they really, really felt like they were an entirely new team, because since they'd swapped things up, obviously they were playing with Kezo and Ponlo, then they changed it up. They haven't had SVG this year either, so their mentality just seemed to be like, this is very fresh, this is very new. We're not going to win anything yet because we're still finding our place. So it's very interesting the way they kind of approach that, and I was actually quite surprised because I would have thought that they'd feel more comfortable because they're going back to what they were before, basically, rather than swapping out SVG, but not the case at all. Apparently Fata just completely changing up the dynamic of the team, and they're very open to that. So good in that they're probably taking on Fata's ideas and really kind of, adjusting hard to him, but also kind of, they do still need that time to adjust. So it's whether they found that place or not, which is really the big question.
Yeah, I really think that this is a huge change up from where they started at the beginning of the year. My understanding of Fata as a captain as well is that he's not necessarily domineering, but he's got strong ideas. He's certainly contributing a huge amount to the draft. So sort of becoming his team in a way, and it'll be just interesting to see how Soniqs do. And man, Liquid digging deep in their reserve time here, thinking about what they want to run with this Morphling. And Centaur is something that has been getting more popular as we've gone on between the last chance qualifiers and the group stage.
Yeah, it's one of those heroes which just makes a lot of sense, right? Especially when you consider you've got this Morphling, so you want to try and protect him, get heroes in the front lines, and Centaur can do all that.
Yeah, especially like him here against the idea of like maybe somebody gets tossed in and you can stampede them out, or the Leshrac gets on top of a couple of heroes and you can just scramble by pressing the ult. So that's going to be nice. And okay, Sonic's going to go for the Monkey King.
Not sure I like this, We literally just talked about how they've got good disengage on the side of Liquid and also not a whole lot of sticking power on the side of Soniqs, right? Like, once they're in, it's very difficult to keep them in, and now you go for the Wukong's command, which, again, is, I'm not sure about this.
Yeah, I think it's more for the lane than anything, and Soniqs probably just wanting to play fast. It, to me, also seems like maybe the Monkey King is okay against the Morphling. I think that's been a big topic of conversation, is like, what carries can we play into the Morphling? Because so many of the agility carries feel like they're just off the table. It's like, we don't want to pick Slark, we don't want to pick Faceless Void, You know, to an extent, we don't even want to pick stuff like Drow or any of these agi carries, but at least Monkey King maybe not caring as much from the perspective of the Wukong's command, and they're just going to have to get some, maybe at least a little bit more lockdown coming in from the off lane. Though they're no slouches when it comes to stuns, right? They've got Avatos, Split Earth, Cookie, not too bad. Should be okay.
It's just that fire and forget stun they're missing, you know, like the kind of hard lockdown, something to really just kind of control them up. And yeah, I don't know, I almost feel like I want some kind of team fighting stun, but I guess they are still going for their offlaner here, so that could still come out. And Liquid feel the same way; they get rid of the Tidehunter.
Yeah, so it does very much seem like Soniqs are kind of going along this game plan of, all right, you've got the Morphling, we're just aiming to win before he ever gets too big or becomes too much of a problem. And they will have the last overall pick to kind of make his life difficult as well.
As tradition, we ban out the bat.
Yeah, as tradition demands, certainly. Right, so we're looking for a Mickey hero here.
Yep, Ember has to be considered, I think. It looks really good to me.
Yeah, is Pango is still in the pool?
Yep, it is very much so.
Yeah, I could see that.
I don't love it.
Lycan. Okay. So wait, is Matu playing Lycan and they're giving Mickey the Morphling? What's going on here? I think that's probably the plan.
I would assume so. I wouldn't like to see the Lycan in the middle lane. I would say that much. So.
No, yeah, I don't think you want the Lycan matching up against the Lesh. But if your plan here for Soniqs was to pick something to try and dumpster the Morphling in the lane, they're now putting him in a place where it's much harder to do that. And I suppose there's a very quick question for Soniqs, which is like, is there a world where we put Lesh in the off lane and we instead pick something else for Quinn that we feel like can kind of dominate this Morphling?
Yeah.
I don't know what we've seen do especially well. There's still a Queen of Pain in the pool, but doing something like that might just be too much of a departure from what they were planning with the draft. So we might still just end up seeing like the Beastmaster here. Magnus again. Right, okay, so this is what he played in game number 1.
Yeah.
Versus EG. Sorry.
This is it though. This is the AoE lockdown I wanted. You know, it's kind of like the hard stop to Liquid's draft, which I was really hoping they'd pick. So I'm happy.
They're taking Insania's advice. It's about the number of stuns, and everybody's got a stun here for Soniqs.
You get a stun, you get a stun, you get a stun. Yeah, and you know, Mag does give you something to rely upon. It is a lot of pressure on Leslau, who, as you were saying, he's had a shaky performance so far. Obviously, only one series, but hopefully they can rely on him. But yeah, I do like this Soniqs draft now. But I also like Liquid's draft. And I would say Liquid's draft is looking a little bit easier to execute. Maybe a lot more easy to execute. So I will probably be leaning for them, considering I favored them already to start with.
Yeah, I like Liquid's draft a little bit more. And to me, it feels like Soniqs have somewhat abandoned the game plan of like playing early and going against the Morphling that way, which I'm not really a huge fan of. So yeah, I'm favoring Liquid here. We'll see how the lanes go. I think the lane should be quite good for Soniqs. Even if Morphling farms well, he's not going to go and gank. Magnus Tiny versus the Lycan Witch Doctor should be totally fine. And I think the Monkey King Snap against Centaur Clock should also be pretty good. So lane win, but.
I kind of question you there. Is Magnus Tiny good versus Lycan Witch Doctor? What makes you say that?
I think it's mostly just sitting there farming and shoving with the cleave. I don't really know what the Lycan is going to accomplish in that lane. He's not really contributing a whole lot of damage to any Maledict kills necessarily. So I'm just picturing either one of them getting tossed back on top of the Magnus, and then what do? Like, if the Witch Doctor gets tossed back, he's just 100% dead. Liquid might even do this thing that we've seen them do a little bit, where they swap things around a little bit, and they get Insania playing in the off lane, and we've got the Clockwork playing in the safe lane. Maybe that makes life a little bit easier, but yeah,
Meta.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's see how it goes down as we move into game number 1, Soniqs versus Liquid here at the TI11 group stages. A very important win for both of these teams. As we start things off, Mickey in the middle lane on the Morphling versus the mid lane of the Leshrac. Grandmaster Leshrac, by the way, on Quinn here. Very, very scary.
He's a monster on this tier. He might even be best in the world. Maybe that's a big call, but certainly Sonic put a lot of faith in him. They've got a lot of confidence.
What a beautiful spray in the middle lane. My goodness, that is lovely. Let's
not take my energy.
Yeah.
There you go. They're backing their boy. Like we said, he's got the least TI experience of anybody on the roster, but I'm sure the team has a lot of faith in him. He's going to get to run it back a little bit here on the Magnus.
Yeah, and it's worth mentioning here. This is a bit of a retirement home brawl here, because both of these teams are two of the oldest teams in the tournament, believe it or not.
And just in terms of like total age or average age. Or...
Yeah, the average age.
Yeah, dang.
Old man on both sides.
The battle begins.
I think the oldest overall is RNG. I didn't actually work it out. I just went through and looked and kind of eyeballed it, but...
Mental
yeah.
math. You're not from NA,
yeah,
so you can do that at least.
Somewhat. I can guess, but yeah, going by the age, there's definitely two of the older teams hanging out here. And yeah, a lot of combined experience between them. And Leslie just littered all over the middle lane as we start things off here. Yeah, I'm interested to see how this lane goes. I feel like I haven't really seen enough Leshrac, and I haven't really seen enough Morph mid to really get a good read on this one.
I think it should be maybe a little bit of a farm fest. You know, the Lesh can put some pressure on, but Morph definitely having that base damage advantage. I think Quinn might even get some points in the Lightning Storm here, just to kind of keep Mickey honest.
Yeah, keep him in strength. That's what you want to do, right? Just kind of harass him and make sure he's not like in that full last hitting mode where he's just going to get everything. Definitely makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So, okay. We got Boxy, Dragon Creep Waves at bottom. They don't really want to play the lane against the Monkey King, and you are a little bit too late to drag across here, so I'm just going to have to let this go.
Yeah, Fada wants to kind of interrupt this if he can, but it's just too difficult to get near, especially with Boxy just sitting on him with this battery assault as well. Did a lot of damage to the poor old Snapfire, though. Boxy's not particularly healthy himself, but Fada not going to sit there and try and fight the guy. That would be pretty suicidal. So Fada just grabbing the creeps and walking around the tower to help out Yuwa, who's going to also have a free time behind this building. But yeah, has to be said, it should be a good lane for Soniqs, as you mentioned in the draft.
Yeah. Not necessarily. They didn't really deny too much there. They lost two of the creeps back down the lane, and then it ended up under the tower anyway. So I think it was just a play to get Zai some experience.
So interesting move from Boxy, trying to go for the battery assault as the creeps are dying, but maybe a little bit too ambitious there from the Clockwork, and that's going to mean that they don't quite get there. But it does block you from getting towards the creeps. Maybe this was a plan all along, as you are now starving a little bit. Only misses one. He's fine.
Yeah, this is looking pretty easy for him. And they just want to keep doing shenanigans. It's double melee against the Monkey King. They don't actually want to be in the lane. If they can make a new lane in the jungle, then they'll do just that.
Yeah. Meanwhile, over towards mid, we got Mickey versus Quinn. There's been a lot of harassment coming out from the Leshrac onto the Morphling, which has caused him to have to kind of sit back a little bit and chill out, but did go for this bottle, which is going to help out a little bit as these water runes spawn and give him lots and lots of health to get back to fighting fit in this lane, as you can see. So he's absolutely fine. We'll be able to catch up, but still a good start for Quinn.
Yeah, we... lane, at least early on, and in general, the laning stage kind of a little quiet thus far.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see what Liquid do though as we move into this laning phase, because as we say, naturally Sonic should get a little bit of advantage. I mean, will they do anything like big rotations to the mid lane or something? Do you expect to kind of get an advantage somehow?
I think the first rotation that they're really hoping for is to maybe try and bring their Lesh to top. It's a little tricky because the Morph's not going to rotate, but if you leave his lane, he's going to start breathing down your tower. So like you need to either have him be in a position where he can't take your tower when you head top, or you get a haste turn or something, and that's how you look to play it. So only Quinn gonna get a water rune here. Fada comes in and denies the other one. He's gonna take some damage for it, but I don't think he's gonna die.
Yeah, it's good. Just Boxy being as annoying as possible on this Clockwork. That's its one aim in this game, is just to rustle some jimmies. He's got one aim. He's done that very well to Fada so far.
So as we have a quick pause, we can see all three lanes going fantastically for Soniqs. Like 28-8, 22-7, 19-6. Really just going to be a question of, can they take this? Like I said, I really thought it was going to be early game lead. It's just going to be a question of how do they transition this lead? How are they going to be able to head through the mid game? Can they sort of deal with the Morphling if he starts getting later on into the game? Because like they've got a lot of stuns. But I can also see the Morphling, if he's got enough items, just kind of itemizing his way out of anything here. We haven't even really talked that much about the Lycan. My read here is just Liquid trying to create a little bit more space by having some push threat of their own. Soniqs are not the fastest pushing lineup. They do have Edict, but that's about it as far as tower push potential. So I think the Lycan is really here to just try and open up the map. So MSS getting really low here.
Yeah, being beaten down by Insania. Is it going to be enough? The final ticket just about brings him down. MSS going to fall to Insania, and that will be your first blood for the Witch Doctor.
Yeah, that's super nice for Insania. He's a pretty high level, and playing the lane, I think the way that he needs to, which is you want to give Lycan as much experience as humanly possible, and you want to keep making the Tiny want to come and contest the pulls. Because I don't think they actually want to play the lane 2v2. It's just going to be a toss back into a skewer, and the Lycan can't help you. So better to keep the lane as a 1v1 and just constantly threaten pulls.
And the value he got from this Windlace in this lane as well, being able to escape them when they throw him back, and then being able to run down the Tiny there is just absolutely insane. And also worth mentioning as well, the reason they were able to get that kill is because Tiny unfortunately has absolutely zero armor early on in the game, so those right clicks from the Witch Doctor do quite a lot of work.
Yeah, and he gets to walk all the way back to base. He picks up his boots. He TPs mid for the refill for Mickey, so helping out the mid lane a little bit. Very high impact early game from Insania to start, though. MSS doesn't want to let him back into the lane.
Yeah,
here.
he's like, gives him a slap.
What are you doing here?
Tree.
Yeah.
But man, look at Quinn in the middle lane, just absolutely reaping havoc in the middle lane. Just so much fun. Jesus.
Yeah. I thought this was going to be a little bit more even, but he is huge, and he's already got level 6.
Yeah,
so
get out of here.
big
Oh, he lands a stun. It's not going to be enough damage, unfortunately, to bring him down with that strength morph going, but still, Mickey not having a pleasant time, just being beaten up the moment he comes anywhere near it. And this tower, I mean, it's going to fall unless Liquid can do anything about this. They need to bring in some heroes or something. Quinn, he really wants to land this blind stun here. He's even popping himself the ward to be able to try and do so as they land the stun. The follow-up's there from MSS. They bring him down. Mickey, that'll be the kill in the middle lane for Quinn as they continue this domination of the Leshrac.
That was a beautiful rotation. I wonder if they'll even be able to figure out that there's this ward here. Insania might come over and have a little bit of a look.
Yeah, I have a feeling this will be scouted out. I don't know. Let's see. No. They feel like it was just a good read or good reactions. I'm not sure. Maybe Mickey doubting himself.
Maybe it wasn't clear.
Any pub game there, and the guy said, "There's a ward, there's a ward, there's a ward."
Yeah,
There's a ward,
he sees me, guys.
Yeah, he sees me.
Yeah, exactly.
The
more I'm looking at this, the more it does look like a pretty difficult game for the Lycan to play. Like,
down at bottom.
I don't know what he does in team fights.
Actually does just about connect there, and that's going to be a dead Monkey King. Liquid moving down to the bottom lane. The Witch Doctor barely needed, to be honest, but he was there to help out regardless, and they're even picking out Fata as well. They might not be done here on Liquid as they look towards the Snapfire. Boxy and Insania coming on over. Zai's there with the stomp, but Boxy, he's having second thoughts. They know someone else is in the neighborhood. The ward spots out Quinn, who's sitting on the high ground, and they will cancel the attempt onto Fata's life.
Yeah, so Quinn's going to know that there's some kind of ward along his rotation path, but...
Zai is, he's a horny boy, trying to finish off Fata here, but might not be able to do so, though. Insania coming in. They have got the Maltic down onto the Monkey King. They change targets. He's just back in here, and he might just go down immediately. Can't take Zai down with him either. Zai going for the TP out. Fata runs to the tree lines. Insania trying to chase him, eating the tree to make his way through. Fata, he plants the tree down with the Iron Barrage. That is a cheeky little play there from Fata, and might just get him out of certain death. Wow. All right. Well, your Monkey King's still dead, which is tragic, but...
Yeah, that's certainly sad for Soniqs, but Fata going to get at least a little bit more experience down here before he dies. They're pincering him. He hops over Insania, though.
Yo, how much outplaying can this man do? I think he might be out of options here as they're going to pop the Stampede for it and chase him into the tree line here. They've got the Maldic upon him. Boxy trying to chase him down. Boxy, that doesn't actually have the mana for the battery assault, and if Fata can get away, he's going to be fine.
He's living. He's made so much space down here at bottom. This is huge.
A Stampede, two supports just sitting on him for ages. Meanwhile, the Leshrac still just farming his little pants off. Yeah.
It's tricky that UR's getting kicked out of this bottom lane, though, because his build is not a farming build. He's only got 1 point in the Primal Spring so far, so he's going to probably get empowered later on and grab some farm that way, but this is not where he wants to be, sitting here and hitting jungle creeps currently. But nice read from Liquid, just committing both of their supports to bottom and kind of shutting down UR for the moment.
So how come he hasn't moved up to top lane at all?
I think he was just kind of waiting for the tower to be brought down, and he might farm his way over there. I don't think he wants to just straight up TP.
Okay.
He can't really farm the Ancients at the moment either, so it's not significantly better for him to be over there.
Right, okay.
Tower is under attack.
Meanwhile, getting the pressure, but it's over by the power rune where the action's taking place as the avalanche and toss is there onto Quinn. The cookie comes through as well. A lot of damage being pumped out from the Leshrac, though, as they bring down the Morphling and the Clockwork. Quinn still fighting here. Matu's got to get away. Almost gets caught out by the Split Earth, but will be okay. But it's too late for Quinn as the Melodic takes him down. Gets a lot of work done, but not quite enough to keep himself alive. As down in the bottom lane, Leslau and Yawa get it done and bring down the Centaur, defending the tower in the process.
All right, nice. And Quinn's pumping up his boy, Leslau here.
Yeah.
Nice rotation. Good job, buddy. This is what we need from you. And yeah, the Lesh is looking pretty scary this game. Even though he dies, he takes down 2 in that engagement, and we didn't talk about it too much before, but in terms of split pushing, I get why they've gone for this Lycan and taking down objectives. In terms of fighting, I'm not actually sure what he's going to be able to get done, and Quinn's on the hunt for Matu right now.
Ooh, a little bit of shenanigans taking place.
Oh no, the toss back, the range.
Who's hunting whom? Yeah, that's the question here. The wolves also making it so annoying, and now Sadie is going to unleash with the Death Ward, and this is a dead Tiny anyway you look at it.
Oh man, just needed Quinn to run at him a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Maybe for the best in the end. There was Boxy rotating over and whatnot, so Liquid were looking to respond.
Indeed.
Maybe it was going to end up as a little bit of a trade. But Sonic setting up their map in a very interesting way. They're putting the Monkey King down bottom and trying to hold this tower against the Centaur for longer. Lelis is also sitting in the Radiant jungle, so he's running over and periodically sticking the Empower onto the Monkey King. And it's actually Quinn who's kind of taking this, what is normally the pause 1 or the pause 3, dealing with the top lane and shoving that out.
Yeah, they've switched things up a little bit. Do you find it strange that Soniqs have kind of won the laning phase pretty heavily and then kind of defaulted into just trying to out-farm Team Liquid?
They do have kind of a full tricore, and they do need to wait for timings. If they had gone for like a Beastmaster or something as the last pick, I think they would be under way more pressure to be kind of go. But I think with the lineup that they have, it makes sense to sort of wait for your Bloodstone, Blink, whatever UR wants to go for timing before you put on too much more pressure.
So do you think there's any regret there that they didn't give themselves that option in the draft?
Maybe, but I think that they've also potentially changed their read to maybe we're actually not doing a meat grinder, right? You put down the Wukong's command. You've got the Leshrac standing there. You've got the threat of the RP. Both supports are pretty tanky as well. So as soon as you get stunned once, or if everybody's kind of clumped together, what do you do if you're Liquid? You don't even punish clumping all that much for them.
Well, as we come back into the middle lane here, we see Matu getting run down. That's a jump in from Leslau. Another RP, another big kill. Apologies there as we're getting reconnected into the game. Just a couple of connection issues. Hopefully get sorted out soon. But yeah, this was actually what was happening. There was Liquid were making their move down bottom. They were trying to put some pressure on the bottom tower and maybe get a kill into UR. UR just reads them brilliantly. And Soniqs then go for the kill on the middle lane, knowing that there's no supports around. And they get that kill. So really nicely executed from Soniqs, completely outmaneuvering there. And getting themselves a kill on the tower for it.
Yeah, and kind of sad state of affairs for Matu currently, where he's this Lycan, he's got his ultimate ready to go, and yet he's actually just doesn't really have anybody that wants to come and fight with him. He'll pick up his Helm of the Overlord in a couple hundred gold, and maybe they can go and make something happen there. I think Mikke is maybe even going, yeah, he is going for a Mage Slayer. I saw the Oblivion staff on the Morphlings, so that is going to be the attempted answer to the Lesh, I suppose. Kind of get up in his face and turn down his damage output a little bit. It's also not terrible against the Monkey King either, but yeah, Liquid certainly looking for an out here. I don't think they're actually feeling very confident about their ability for this one to go late, so they're looking for a timing. They've got the Blink on the Centaur, Helm of the Overlord Lycan, and then Mage Slayer plus maybe a small item on the Morphling.
Yeah. It's a little bit awkward here because they see the Morphling up in the top lane, but in terms of actually catching him, there's not much they can do. And Boxy's actually going to unleash onto Fada here with a hook shot, so this should be a dead Snapfire. Leslau watching, but that's about all he's doing.
Yeah, nice little pick.
His friend died. So sad. Quinn could be in trouble in the middle lane if he sticks around, but won't do so. Catapult was not worth it. He knew that. Regen for the mana.
Yeah, they saw he had a regen, so they should know he's going to keep on going and farming, but I'm not sure if he's actually the hero that they want to jump on.
Let's see. Zai does have the Blink Dagger. Going to use it here, so they're going to unleash just about everything onto him. Ulti also being used from the center, and it looks like they do have the damage to bring down Bit and Quinn. But Quinn, actually, with the Bloodstone, they need to get away from him to stop him healing up. But he is eventually going to fall, despite getting off a shit ton of damage in the process. You are now jumping onto Zai in the backlines here, looking for another pick-off as he unleashes onto the Centaur, and that's going to be a kill for them. Insania also probably headed for the grave here as MSS picking up the double kill. Nice bit of punish coming in there for the side of Soniqs.
Yeah, big turnaround punish, and they managed to kill Mikke while that play was happening at top. They just hit him with the RP, hit him with the Boundless Strike. He didn't get to do anything.
Okay, all right. Big kill on the Morphling as well. Makes that actually worthwhile for the side of Soniqs. Like, they'll be sad for losing their Lash, but absolutely worth it. Visiting value down, for sure.
Yeah, if the Morphling only ever stays on par net worth-wise with the Tricore of Soniqs, then I think that Soniqs are more than happy with this game, really.
Ooh, Leslau. No. Oh, no, they're going to put down the sentry. They'll see he's here, and this could be the end for the... Oh, no, don't mind. Skewer down to the low ground. Got to keep him nice and safe. And Quinn getting on top of the Clockwork, who cannot escape the wrath of the Lesh. Lesh moving in for more now. Once Insania as well gets blasted back by the Adaptive Strike, but it's not going to be enough to save his captain, as Insania will fall as well. 2 more kills go the way of Soniqs. What is
getting something
now?
at
Actually
mid.
pinging towards mid.
Well, maybe not. Fada just gets another
Maybe
cookie
not.
away, and he's going to be fine. Turns around now with the Mortimer's Kisses.
Yep, dance boy, dance. But Zai can't dance hard enough, so he's going to get run down by Fada and Yoa as they're going to be able to take down the Centaur as well. Oh no. Centaur and Centaur dead.
They are absolutely running at them on Soniqs. It just doesn't seem like Liquid are really able to put together a play. I'd like to see them go for a smoke with this Helm of the Overlord on the Lycan. He's got his ultimate back up in a second. Maybe you wait for the level 2 ultimate, but they got to do something with this hero. He's not going to farm into the late game.
It's an interesting game. I mean, Sonics have a pretty clear advantage at this point, but at the same time, when it comes to objectives, it's not overwhelming. It's just 2-2 on towers at the moment. When do you think that's going to change?
Maybe once they succeed in getting a pick off and getting the Rosh. Still somewhat tricky to. They're still not the best pushing lineup, so they need to kind of wait for some items.
Quinn moving in under the cover of smoke. They see Boxty here, and Quinn actually reveals from attacking the creep, but they're going to be able to bring him down regardless. You are securing that kill very nicely with the boundless strike from the tree line. Zai's still hanging around, but knows better than to approach Sonics right now. Bottom lane,
starting at bottom.
He's going to drop the RP here. Then comes the skewer to drag him back as well. Quinn's on top of him, and they do land the split earth as well. Matu, is he going to escape? No, he's not. The damage is out from the Leshrac in time. Beautifully done by Leslau and Quinn.
That was sick. I mean, they did have vision, but still, just great setup. Completely punished the split pushing Lycan, and now they should be able to get bottom and mid kind of pushed all the way in, making the map feel pretty small for Liquid. Even running into their triangle now, completely forcing Liquid off of any farm.
Yeah, they're really just trying to choke them out at this point. Who cares objectives? If Liquid are poor, that's all they care about. And again, Sonic's kind of hanging around the same area of the map. The hook shot out onto MSS. Maybe MSS has taken a step too far forward. Going to toss back the clockwork. Try and get themselves one kill, but they're actually moving forward onto Quinn here. Quinn, he needs some help, and it's going to come in the form of the kisses coming on over the top, but the stuns are there. Quinn getting low. He is going to get taken out. That will be the end of him, but Matu does get killed on the sidelines by Yawar, so at least they get something. But overall, nice response there from Liquid, just punishing MSS for being too far forward without a teammate.
They did kill Matu at mid. He wasn't expecting there to be heroes at the tier 2 tower while there was also a fight happening on the bottom corner of the map. But still, overall, I think that's pretty good for Liquid. Anything to slow down Quinn is going to be pretty big. So, all right, what's he going for next? Mike is just going to be going for the Ags on the Morphling anyway. We had a brief conversation in the draft about, like, is it that good of an Ags game here, but seems like he still wants it. I'm not 100% sure who he's actually going to morph into. It could be pretty worth it to just go for the mag here. Like, it's more mobility, you can empower yourself, and you're going to get that status resist. So against all these stuns, that could be pretty sweet.
Status resist on yourself and 40% off of him as well, right? So
Yeah.
he's going to feel pretty sad about that one. Yeah, or even the spell amp taken from the Leshrac, you know, that in combination with the Mage Slayer.
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
gonna feel pretty impotent.
Yeah, I guess, okay. I wasn't thinking about it in terms of reducing his output, but you're right. I was like, why does Morphling need that much more spell damage? But
it's not about what you get, it's about what you take here. As they're taking Insania's life under the tier 2 tower. No help coming in for the poor old Witch Doctor as he gets taken on down here. And yeah, they're looking for more toss back into the skewer. Very cute, very, very cute from the side of Sonics as they'll take down 2. Just some nice support plays, but you know, they get style points as well. Down at bottom, there is a bit of counter push coming through.
And the only saving grace for Liquid here is that Sonics just don't push all that quickly just yet. But as UR continues to build up more items, it is going to get faster, and Sonic's doing a fantastic job of holding on to this bottom tier 2 tower, you know, not letting Liquid get that one for free. The longer that they can hold it, the longer they don't have to be worried about Matu just running stuff at their bot tier 3.
Yeah. Still not going for Roshan on the side of Sonics just yet. They're being very hesitant on this one. Why are they leaving it so late?
I think probably just wanting to be more sure about their ability to walk in and grab it. The same way they're not amazing at taking towers just yet, they're also not completely in the clear when it comes to going for Roche. So I think that's the majority of it. But yeah, I was kind of wondering as well. They do have the medallion picked up now for the snap, and Fada's going to be going for a solar crest, so that'll certainly help help their cause in terms of going for Roche. And Liquid looking for a fight with their Aghanim Scepter up on the Morphling. Just have to see what Mickey can find. Kind of dangling Zai here somewhat.
They've got the pipe as well, but they might not even get a chance to use it as the chain stun's coming on through here. Bye-bye Centaur. My god. That was quick. And now they move across towards Insania as well. Yawar under the cover of BKB wants to follow this one. RP on the sidelines. Onto the Thunderhide? Hey? Oh well. Insania does get finished off regardless by the Tiny. What was that RP on?
He panicked a little bit, so the Lycan was TPing, and he used the Horn Toss, and it didn't interrupt it, and then he was like, oh, I gotta RP him. And then as the RP came down, Matu already finished his TP and left like a split second earlier. So awkward one, but they got the kills that they wanted, and now they can grab the Roche.
A swing and a miss, you know, is what it is. Just breathe and believe, Laszlo. You got this.
He's had a really good game so far. He's allowed one flub. It's okay.
All right, only one says base skip.
Yeah, that's all you get. If you're a pro player, you're not allowed too many more, unfortunately.
Yeah, if you flub again, then old Skippy's going to be around with his baseball bat.
Yeah, watch your knees.
Well, unfortunately, Liquid hit their timings, then immediately get hit back into their base. They really wanted to go and fight with that Centaur, with his pipe, and with Mickey, with his Aghanims and his Mage Slain, and the amount of magic damage reduction or spell damage reduction they've got is absolutely insane. But unfortunately, the Centaur just dies too quickly, and so Liquid going to be feeling a little bit dejected about that one, but still playing with like a kind of degree of confidence, I would say. You know, they're still out on the map. They're not kind of making too many critical mistakes, I would say. It's just being outplayed a little bit. They're trying to weather the storm, I think is the best way to put it.
I think for the next 4 minutes, they just need to try and wait out this Aegis, if at all possible, because really the only way that I see them winning the fight is somehow managing to all in the Leshrac and kill him. Otherwise, I think Quinn is just going to tear them apart. Even with the magic resist and the pipe that you're talking about, it's still not going to be easy.
Yeah. 25 minutes, 8k gold advantage, 19-9 for the side of Soniqs. This is the kind of start they really, really wanted with this draft, and it's worked beautifully so far. Able to keep this advantage going, and Liquid, they love fighting into an Aegis, that's for sure, as MSS jumps forwards and gets the toss back to start off this fight, but he's going to get killed off by Mickey very, very quickly. Yawar trying to go with this Wukong's command in the backlines, but not really working out. The RP is going to land onto Matumba Man there, and they'll take him down instead. Meanwhile, Mickey going in with the stun, but it's Insania who is eventually going to drop, but Quinn, he's taking damage, taking heavy hits on the front lines here, and now the move across, looking towards Leslau as well. Whilst the Leshrac is dead, they're going to be able to take down the mag. Liquid, they're fighting hard here, but is it going to matter? Yawar and Quinn still alive, but it looks like they're taking stock now as they realize they're the only 2-1s left on their team. It's a 2v3. Liquid fighting into the Aegis, find a huge, huge break in this game.
Yeah, that was a beautiful fight from them. Taking it on the high ground, breaking the smoke. Boxy split them up nicely as well. Yawar not really getting the best use out of his Wukong's command. He put it down. A lot of the duration got wasted by Insania just doing a voodoo switcheroo. They kind of kited away with the Stampede. And so somewhat underwhelming fight, I think, for the Monkey King.
All right, well, can't believe that actually worked for Liquid. But again, we saw them doing this a lot in the LCQs, fighting into an Aegis, just abusing a team's overconfidence, and that's exactly what happens. MSS, he tries to get the fight started and gets completely blown up.
Oh, they really wanted to punish Quinn up here. They had a ward. They knew that he was up here with no BKB, but Soniqs also have a ward of their own, so
yeah.
Yeah, it does feel like the momentum has shifted a little bit. So, like we said, Mickey did just choose to morph into the Lesh in that previous fight, and made it look pretty good. Certainly reducing Quinn's damage output by a huge amount. They've even managed to grind all their way to a Spirit Vessel on Insania. So more and more tools to actually be able to kill this Lesh in the fights. And it does feel like UR is going to have to step it up a little bit in terms of finding these actual core kills. He's almost got a Scotty now in the Monkey King, so that's gonna make life a whole lot easier.
Nice little catch here onto Insania. He's going to get brought down without too much fuss here. Just caught out on a warding mission, but yeah, as you say, the Leshrac has been answered at this point. Like, sure, he's going to be able to get his damage off inside the BKB, but outside of that, he's very much answered. They have so many tools on the side of Liquid. They've just kind of overcompensated for him, kind of believing that UR won't be able to get much done in this game. But now with the Skadi, let's see if he can be the difference maker, because that's what they need from him.
Yeah, the gauntlet's been thrown down, but the Scotty's certainly going to be very useful. Liquid have to just hope that they can somehow kite away from the Wukong's command. End of the day, I do not think that they have any hope of fighting inside of it. The supports are just going to get chewed up.
No.
Yeah, even Morphling is like doesn't want to be sitting there just getting hit by the Scotty for the whole fight.
Yeah, but that said, the Wukong's command, we already talked about how it's not very good. This game, in the last fight, it didn't really do anything. They just ran outside of it. You've got Stampede, you've got Shapeshift, so keeping heroes inside of that Wukong's command is going to be the aim of the game here. That's where Leslie kind of needs to work alongside UR to set up, but easier said than done, and Liquid will be doing everything they can to make sure that is not the case.
Yeah, I was about to say, the next step past that is like, okay, well, Boxy is on find Leslie duty, right? Even if you die, just like go get in on top of the Magnus, make the space for the rest of your team to either get in on top of him or just be killing off another target while you're keeping tabs on him. Gotta mark your man.
Yeah, absolutely. But even though, like, despite the fact they've bought, this Mage Slayer, this Aghanims, everything, they're still not buying BKBs on the side of Liquid. Like, that's how confident they are that this is going to work, this anti-damage strat. Is that overconfidence to you?
I don't know if it's overconfidence. I think the other items are just more important, really. Maybe Mikke will go for a BKB a little bit later on. I don't know that it does that much for Matu. I think he's probably resigned himself to, more auras for the Morphling is more useful, and I'm probably not even going to kill supports really in these fights. So yeah, they're all in on just buffing up Mikke as much as humanly possible.
All right, we'll see how that works out for them. Is very interesting answers for Liquid here, but I'm really liking what they're doing so far, has to be said. Another smoke up behind Zai. Zai leading the charge on the Centaur. Maybe being a little bit of a carrot.
Dire are scanning.
Yeah, this time around his team's a little bit closer than the last time we saw him get jumped at mid.
Yes. But yeah, Soniqs nowhere to be seen. They're up on the top side at the moment, so maybe Liquid going to take up residence on their high ground. Say hello to the biangle.
Yeah, they are a little bit split, and now Soniqs with a smoke of their own.
Yep. Rockets being thrown across the map. And by the way, for any Clockwork Ags enjoyers, it is on the way. It's got that Ogre Axe already. And now, here we go. They're going to unleash onto Matu here, but Matu trying to get himself away, and Quinn jumping into every single hero here, popping that BKB and just trying to run them down, but the Stampede gets used in response. Boxing with a stun to stop the Monkey King, getting off that Wukong's command, but the RP comes through. That's big, lands onto Mikke and takes down the Morph. Soniqs, what else can they clean up? Here is the question. The answer seems to be not a whole lot. Insania will die on the sidelines to Quinn, but that will be about it as... oh, never mind. Zai gets thrown in as well. It's going to be another kill going the way. Soniqs, never mind. They get their brushes out and they get cleaning up.
Oh, it looked okay for Liquid. They whiffed the stun onto Matu. They managed to find the Magnus in the backlines, but Mikke just got obliterated. Quinn was just right on top of him. And they just chain stunned him into nothing.
It was Leslie with the RP.
Yeah.
Beautifully done.
His blink was getting canceled that whole time. Like, I think that was just pretty much... Yeah, we can... Oh, maybe we can
Seeing the flashbang here.
Yeah, never mind. That's okay. Yeah, I think it was mostly just a force staff. Even when he pressed the RP, his blink was like off cooldown because Matu had just sicked all of the creeps onto him. So, very nice.
A classic move, as Leslie is trying to summon Roshan with his ancient summoning rituals, but Doesn't work, unfortunately.
Yeah, not
Dire's
quite.
bottom tower is under attack.
I think you need to hold a piece of celery in your teeth whilst you do that spin, and that's how you summon it, really. But he doesn't know the ancient ways. So it will be 42 seconds till Roshan spawns.
Soniqs just kind of in complete control of this area. Even without the RP, there's still the threat of the horn toss into the skewer back. Like, we got to be careful.
Smoke up from the side of Liquid. Going for a little bit of a wraparound. It's a little cheeky maneuver, but Boxy staying on the front lines here. Ray just pop the smoke if they come up the hill, and now we'll join the rest of his squad. Needs to be in with that hook shot. So important to get that one off. Fata, great positioning here as he gets that ward on the high ground, then immediately popping the drums to try and get himself away. Ooh, it's getting tense. Liquid, though. They decide the jig's up. They know. They'll back themselves away. And Lawrence like, oh, Lasloud goes fishing. But Boxy is too wriggly a fish for him to catch on his hook.
I don't know if either team has actually checked inside the pit just yet. They might not realize the Roshan's actually up.
Well, the flare is going to reveal
there's the flare.
for Liquid. Yeah.
Oh, they've got an arcane rune on this Lush Rack. All right.
Okay.
Good stuff. Yep. If they want to wait a couple hundred gold, they could get a nullifier on their Monkey King, but might be better just to hang on to a buyback for this one.
Jai jump in with the stun here onto MSS. They want to try and take down the Tiny straight off the bat, but in comes the Wukong's command, locking them both down. I don't think Zai or Boxy can get away from this one. The full staff away, along with the Stampede, actually gets a Centaur out of this. And this was a BKB committed from Quinn, so a possibility of counter initiation perhaps there from Liquid, as they did make the trade. My god, fast action here around this Roche fight. How is it so close with a 13k gold advantage?
The Stampede is doing a huge amount of work, and Liquid just being super careful about how they take these fights, making sure that people are not getting caught inside of the Wukong's command. All of the shot calling is on Mickey at this point. It's, can he find an angle that he's happy with? When he commits, everybody else on Liquid is going to commit, and at that point, they just have to hope that they can win the team fight from there. He is going to be going back for a BKB now, so maybe that gives him some kind of an option to, jump in and hard commit onto Quinn. But I don't think this Roshan standoff is going to stop for a little bit.
No, this might be a bit of a stalling point in the game, so we can talk about anything. How was your day? No, I'm joking. This game's too exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, the reason that Liquid didn't push for more there is because their middle lane was pushed in super hard, so they had to send heroes back to try and deal with that. I think they actually would have tried to fight again because the BKB on the Leshrac was down, but they actually couldn't. They had to deal with their lanes. As Martu doing a great job on popping these smokes, but is it going to cost him? I think it might. They get on top of him. My god! He gets turned to butter, and the hot knife is Yawar. As they move across, looking for more. They're actually going on to 2, but the RP comes through! On to 3, that's huge from Leslau, dragging them back into Quinn, throw him the split earth as well, toss them up, throw him down. They will be able to finish off Zai here as he finally gets killed. Quinn still fighting into Mickey. Mickey stealing the form of the Disco Pony. Yeah, oh god, Insanity, he doesn't want to be there. Toss it again from MSS. Soniqs trying to find Mickey. Mickey go over the TP away, and the tree line does get himself out, but 4 heroes dead on the side of Liquid. Soniqs getting it done.
Fata just walking in as the ward there. So you can take me, but there's this Magnetar right behind me ready to go. Beautiful chain stun. Huge team fight win, and Soniqs now 17k ahead. And that's even before the Roche.
Huge 3-man RP from Leslau. Absolutely massive. And now Soniqs are in the pit. They're going to get themselves a little Aegis. And now it's a Disco Pony that never dies.
Oh, they got the last hit on Dire.
Yo.
All right, Rocket Flare from Boxy. Nice. He's going to be pretty happy with that one, but maybe not so happy with the state of this game currently. Things looking tricky.
I mean, rules of engagement means they have to give the shard to Boxy now. That's how it should be. That's what a gentlemanly thing to do would be.
Maybe any other tournament, I think they would consider it, but this is TI. There's too much on the line, unfortunately.
Yeah, literally millions of dollars, I guess.
Yeah, it's something. But Soniqs looking great. Some very nice executed team fights. Still Not necessarily the easiest to go high ground just yet, but their 2 cores that are ahead of Mickey are looking massive. Quinn is feeling pretty impossible to bring down. He's got the Aegis again. He's the real carry.
I think this is actually the perfect item he could have gotten. Trickster's Cloak on Leshrac just feels so damn good.
Yeah, I don't know how you kill it. It's not going to be easy to kill him. I think you can. They probably got enough damage, but twice is tricky, certainly.
Wow, and they've even given the Spell Prism to Mickey as well. I mean, it is a good item. 8 all attributes, 4 mana regen, and 12% cooldown reduction is very, very hard to pass up.
Become Leshrac.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think
He's
the plan
cosplaying.
is he's going to morph into Lesh and then just try and put down as many split earths as he can. Because he's got the shard, right? Shard and Ags. So
Yeah, true.
he actually can just kind of sit there and pump out split earths in the middle of the fight.
It's a game plan. Is it the game plan?
I don't know if it's not necessarily going to win them a fight, but
It does sound funny.
Yeah, or it could certainly make some space, get some chain stun going. Maybe it gives you a chance to catch Quinn on the Aegis respawn or something like that.
Yep. Definitely makes it tricky to get in for an RP or anything like that. And Spell Prism also found by the side of Soniqs. I don't think he put that on the last track though. I think he's really happy with his Tricksters. Give it to the Magnus. Oh, I've actually got on the Tiny. Interesting.
Okay. Quinn's just running at them. This is his map. This is his bottom lane. Oh, Matu almost getting found there.
bit sweaty. Getting a bit. His gaming chair's getting a bit wet, but we'll get out of there. Right. Oh, Mickey finding MSS once again. The Tiny getting caught off guard. Liquid just so quick to punish any sort of miss movement. Do they even have the vision down for that?
Liquid.
Yeah, they've only got this ward on the high ground.
Yeah, they came close enough that they saw that there were 2 heroes. You know, it was a 2-3 split, and they just punished it. So
yeah, it is so incredible, like how good Liquid are at reading the fog. Though I have to say, like that's something we noticed through the LCQs as well. They just seem to have wards in like the entire map warded, even when they don't. Like they just read the map so well. You know, they know that they're going for this kill on Matu down at bottom, so they go for the backstab maneuver.
yeah, I think he got clipped by a little bit of Edict damage, so they kind of knew what was going on there, and they had the Thunderhide kind of.
The Thunderhide revealed that there was
Yeah.
at least a Snapfire round as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so at that point they knew that Soniqs are split and they could get some kind of a punish. And it does seem like they're on their way to wait out this Aegis at this point. Though, like I said, I'm not even necessarily sure that the late game is great for them. You know, Centaur is probably about as impactful as he's going to be. Lycan as well. Not sure what Matu can really do. Maybe he can get an Ags or something. They can keep buffing up Mickey even more, but Mickey's got a 1v5 a little bit here.
Wins. Seen by Mickey. Stun's not going to land though, and the stun to the boundless strike from Yawar definitely doesn't. He actually blocks the hook shot, which was meant for Quinn as well. But the follow-up not really there, as now they jump in on Zai. BKB pop from Yawar though, as he just turns around and fights up into the Centaur. They'll throw him back with the skewer as well, as split ups from both teams just littering the ground. It's actually impossible to tell whose is who at this point, so good luck basically. Yeah, Zai will get pulled down. Nice little snipes coming out from Fighter as MSS jumping in, tries to go for the toss back, lands on a creep instead. Quinn's just committing hard for this one. The RP comes down on top as well. Do they have the damage to bring them down as a Sadia just dropping the death one of the sidelines, trying to get them to just go away and leave them alone. Mickey trying to get up to the high ground here, but Quinn, he's actually taking quite a lot of damage here, out of mana as well, so could probably use dying, but he's actually not going down, and Sadia will drop as Quinn gets up to the high ground here. Mickey still chasing. He wants that Aegis. He wants MSS as well. Boxy comes in as well, trying to slide in to help out with the fight. MSS will eventually get left behind as the Aegis actually ends on the Leshrac, but the regen did get cancelled by a bit of damage there. MSS will fall. The Leshrac is out, and some way, somehow, through these messy, dirty fights, Liquid actually come out kind of okay. It does cost them a buyback on Zai.
Cost them 2 buybacks, but they almost... It was almost a huge fight win for them there. MSS barely saving the day in the end, getting that toss away on his Lesh. Otherwise, I think he was just dead. Like you said, the Aegis getting reclaimed in the middle of the fight. The Aegis regeneration got knocked off pretty much immediately. And Holy, how much damage did Witch Doctor do in that fight? Oh my god. I feel
Yeah,
like
he was just
yeah.
he was just looking at it go on the sidelines there, dead
Yeah.
through the whole thing.
I think some of it must have just been like he got a big maledict on the Lesh, and like Lesh was healing and then taking big maledict damage and then healing a little more and taking some more maledict damage. That was crazy.
Bottom tower has fallen.
And yeah, I cannot believe those splitterts. That was it was just like, all right, I'm gonna run in. I hope it's mine and not the enemy team's. Like,
Yeah. Is that one yours? I think so.
yeah,
All
it's
right.
like, yeah, I didn't realize that he would use the immortal version on the Morphling. I wasn't sure how that worked, but there you go.
Yeah.
Question answered.
Very confusing. Very hard to tell whose is whose. And if it's confusing for us, you can bet your ass it's confusing for the players, but yeah, just gotta hope you have a good memory about who casted which and when.
Yeah, I think you just avoid all of them is maybe the best policy. What's Mickey got? So he's picked up a Shadow Blade. Looking for a Silver Edge, just trying to start the fight on the target that he wants. Doesn't want to be forced into morphing early, and also wants to be avoiding this Hex that Quinn has picked up if at all possible. It's really like Soniqs versus Mickey at this point.
Yeah, that's fair. He is the everything of this Liquid.
Yeah,
draft.
he's the only one that they're going to be itemizing against. Oh, they're baiting him on the double damage?
Oh, Mickey's got to walk in for it, but do they catch him out? They get with the RP as well. Is it enough damage? Mickey's going to fall. It's just enough, and no buyback for him as well. Quinn's going to bring down Boxy as well. A beautiful bait there from the side of Soniqs, and Leslau catching up Martu as well. BKB comes out from the Wolf. He's going to try to TP himself away, and he will be safe, but Insania will not be, as Yoa's able to bring him down as well. Liquid.
That ain't Dota, baby.
That is a big, big loss for them. And now, Soniqs, they come charging up the high ground. They want to do some serious damage here.
He almost got away with it. I think it was he only got seen at the very last second by the gem. Dang. I think they had to kind of go for that, but that's what Soniqs were relying on. They knew the position that Liquid were in. They knew that they could bait them on that, and they're just going for the jugular now. Forcing
Yeah,
out
having
that second
second
glyph.
thoughts as the fortification comes out. They do have creeps on the high ground though, so they can go for the win, and that is going to be the cool. Tier 4's being hit. They've got another Diabolic Edict in 2 seconds, and they do have the talent as the Hex comes out onto the Lycan. Can he go down again? Martu, 4-staffed away. That's going to keep him alive. Boxy might not be so lucky though. Jetpack to try and get himself out, and that will be successful as it stuns out onto 2. 10 seconds till Mickey is back in the game. Soniqs going to respect it. They back themselves out. No win for you.
Still, that's significant base damage. Lose one of the tier 4s. They don't have the glyph anymore. Liquid hanging on by a thread at this point. And they kind of just have to go, I think. The Roshan is up. They know about this. They've scouted it with the rocket flare. So if they can find somebody on the map, they can start a sequence where maybe they just get kill after kill, start a rolling team fight.
Still no buyback on Mickey. He just can't afford it. 1,400 gold, and he can't take the time out to go and hit creeps, because if they get this Aegis, this Slash Rack is just going to be absolutely unkillable. Quite literally.
Yeah, they've already struggled. Killing him once seems like it's sort of the limit. Who's going to get this Ags if they get it? This is really going to be no fight from Liquid. They're just a little bit too slow.
Damn, this is costly. Boxy, he's going to reveal it here. He has popped the axe, so he could go in for a big hook shot with the extra width, but it's not going to be there in time. Yuar grabs the Aegis, and now Liquid, they are away from their home, and they grab the Morphling. He's back into the middle of it again. Mortimer's Kiss is coming through as well, but the hook shot's going to cancel that out. Abyssal Blade comes in, Mickey can't do a thing. Morphling dead again. 88 seconds as Quinn just running around this fight, skipping through the fight. The Disco Goat getting it done. Boxy falls as well. They'll look across towards towards Zai and to Insane Years. They both get skewered together. A lovely little kebab for the side of Soniqs to feast upon. 4 heroes dead on the side of Liquid, and that should be it as they gonna come down the middle lane now.
He couldn't even press BKB. He just, everyone's got stuns. There's a Hex, and then every stun in the world. Liquid doing everything that they could to bail him out of the middle of that Wukong's command, but...
Yep. Hex, RP, Abyssal Blade. Good luck, Nikkei. And he's even got a shard as well. That's the thing, right? Like, everyone thinks the shard's amazing, but not when Sonics are involved. GG gets called, and game number 1 will go to Soniqs.
Really nice lanes. Really nice mid-game execution. They weren't in a rush. It seemed like they had confidence in their strategy against the Morphling. They gave it away, and they dealt with it just fine. And the Matumba Man Lycan really, I think, not working out the way that the Liquid were hoping, or something that they kind of got pressured into at the end of the draft and said, okay, maybe this is the kind of answer that we can go for, but it didn't feel like he ever really got off the ground.
No, it was tricky. It was tricky. There wasn't really a moment